Hey everybody, welcome to the Players Take episode 217. I'm your host Justin DeSimone, joined by my co-host Montrell Rice. How you doing, Montrell?
Fucking terrible, but I'm living.
All right. Well, we are joined by a guest this week. He's been on a few times before, and it is our friend Deejay Hyuga. DJ, how you doing?
You're hello. I'm sorry. I just had to do that. I was watching Fresh Prince or Bel-Air.
Fair enough. Well, how are we doing, boys? Montrell, you say you're doing terrible. I mean, I know Zencaster's deciding to fuck us again, this week, but we're making it work. We got a 2-hour recording limit, but we're gonna record. We're recording, baby. We're making it happen. So everything's cool.
Yeah, I mean it's not the only like bad customer experience shit I experienced today. I had to go to a gunsmith for my AK I just bought, and I took it to him yesterday. Because I'm usually service my own fucking rifles for this very reason. I have all the tools that's necessary, but for some reason I couldn't get this one part off, and it was because the manufacturer kind of put it in wrong, according to him. Anyway, I called him today. I took it to him yesterday. Called him, or he called me today. I missed the call because I'm at fucking work. It's 2:30, and I call him back, and apparently he left a message because I called him like right back, and he left a voicemail. And he was like, "Does anyone ever read their voicemails and everything like that?" Blah blah blah. I'm a customer, bro. I am not your fucking son. Like I am a customer, bro. And it's like, yeah. I'm like, well, I'm at work. I didn't get your voicemail. I'm talking to him just like this. Like, I didn't get your voicemail, and I'm at work. So I called you immediately back once I got the call. He was like, "Oh, well, your AK's ready or whatever," and I'm like, "Okay, thank you. I will come pick it up now." He's like, "All right, cool," and he hung up the phone. But I got an earful for no fucking reason because I didn't check my voicemail because I immediately called him right back. And I was really irritated by that because I'm like, I'm a fucking customer. I don't know what's. I'm just irritated today. Everybody's been going off on me, and then he apologized when I got to the shop. But I was like, I'm not coming here ever fucking again because you're cussing at me and you're yelling at me over the fucking phone over not reading the fucking voicemail. So I'm upset, and that kind of ruined my whole day because I was very excited to get my fucking gun back, and then I get home, and then Zencash was like, "Fuck you, you've been using this for 3 years, but fuck you," and like no one's replying back. So I just think the customer experience is fucking dead. Sucks because I used to work in the service industry, and if I did anything like this, I would be poor on the streets right now. But besides that, I was having an okay week, but yeah. Today was just a really bad day for me.
Hey man, I'm with you. I've had a shitty week too. It was so shitty that I decided to take tomorrow off. So I feel you, bro. I'm fucking like, people at my job can go suck a dick. Fucking hate everybody there right now. So it's just what, Montreal. Everybody in their own little world is fucking self-important. They don't give a flying fuck about the rest of us. I don't give a shit what they fucking say, but they don't.
I just feel like working in IT, we have to maintain a level of patience with other people.
Yeah, and I'm fucking done. I'm fucking done with it, bro. I'm
like
fucking done with it, okay? Why do I have to be the fucking nice guy when you're the fucking idiot? I'm so tired of it. And you know what, though? The thing is, I'm not even mad at users right now. It's not the users that I'm really mad at. It's the people I fucking work with. Because they're intelligent people. They understand technology. They know how shit works, and they still fuck my team over every chance they fucking get. And I'm fucking done with it, bro. I'm over it.
Yeah, no,
I'm over it. My boss doesn't give a shit either. He like literally hangs us out to dry and fucking expects me to be okay with it.
I completely understand. I completely understand. I just feel like, I don't know. I think, not to get in the whole rant or whatever, I was thinking like on the way to driving, like this is this gunsmith, like he got raving reviews on Google and everything like that. When I first met them and everything, they were really cool, and everything like that. And he's like, "Oh well," and he was kind of like smart or whatever, and this is the whole thing I don't like about the gun community. Everyone is a fucking dickhead for no fucking reason in the gun community. It's so fucking annoying. Like, get off y'all fucking dicks, y'all own dicks. Like, I don't know if y'all trying to now I see the meme of people trying to compensate for small dicks. I don't maybe y'all trying to compensate for that. That's why y'all have egos are so fucking big in the gun community. It's so fucking annoying. I bring in my AK and I'm like, hey, I've been trying to work on it. I normally work on my own AKs or my own guns. I built my own fucking firearm. So I'm telling him all this. He's like, oh yeah, we hear that all the fucking time. People come in with their AK. Maybe he has AK bias. I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't like fucking AKs. And I don't either. But I have one. I have two. But I was like, yeah, I've been trying to work on it. I can't get this handguard on. And he's like, oh well, the handguard doesn't. 95% of the people that come in here tell you like, the handguard is gonna work, but it doesn't fucking work, and we gotta fit it on and everything like that. And I'm like, okay, bro, just give me just fix my shit, and I'll pay you, and I'll be out my fucking way. Yeah. So I smiled at him like whatever. And then today that shit happens because I didn't answer the phone fast enough. I don't fucking know. I'm a fucking customer at the end of the day, and I just feel like because like a lot of corporations and even some of these service industries like that, they get really big and everything, and they just don't give a fuck about the customer experience. And it's just, I don't know. To me,
totally with you, man.
To me, it's just really stupid. I mean, even trickles down to the gaming world. I mean, we see what the fuck is happening with Apex right now. Every post they post right now, Respawn. I mean, and God bless their souls. I have people I know that I love dearly that work at Respawn. But it's like, even they just don't give a fuck about like the customer experience because it's like, fuck the customers. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And it's like, some of us do though. And even some of my users, some of them know what the fuck they're talking about. And it's just like, I don't say fuck them. I'd be like, all right, I'm going to see what's going on. Then if I figure out the issue, then it's fuck them. But before that, I'm going to figure out the issue and solve it first. So I don't know. Yeah. I'm just irritated. But this is why I come to the podcast to breathe. So
vent.
Yeah, so I'm here, and that's what it is. I'm glad we have DJ here. Sorry, you came on a bad day, DJ. I was very excited to have you on. I'm still very excited to have you on.
That's
but
fine.
It's just
life happens.
All this dumb shit here. So yeah.
Nah, man, I'm tired of people who think they're fucking smarter than everyone else and treat other people like they're fucking idiots.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's everywhere. It's not just in like the game industry. It's like in all industries. Like there's this mentality that everyone's smarter than everybody else, and I'm just fucking sick of it.
Yeah, but dude, U.S. corporate America is literally one of the worst places for that kind of fucking behavior. And
yeah, because either you get the dude bro, like the dude bro jock that is like made up to the executive level that thinks he's smarter than everybody, or you get the fucking nerd dude who's just like, I'm smarter than everybody because whatever the case. And it's like, bro, both of y'all shut the fuck up. Like, well, no, why can't everybody just be normal?
I have the third option, which is worse. The guy who isn't a jock, who isn't a nerd, literally lives for their job. Like they don't give a shit about any other part of their life. And they think the only thing that matters is moving up in the corporate ladder, and they project that onto the people around them, and it's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Like some of us just want to go to work and be happy. That's nothing wrong with that.
It's literally it.
There's nothing wrong with that, but so fuck me, man. It's like whatever. My point of view is stupid and naive and childish, so I can go get fucked.
This is usually how we break our ice, DJ. I know you listen to the podcast. Sometimes you vent.
Sorry, DJ. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're pretty aggro. We're pretty
Hey,
I like having a guest on and we're like screaming at.
I haven't ate dinner, so I'm just over here just eating my dinner, drinking my juice.
All right, well let's put that aside. Montrell and I can bitch after the show's over. Yeah. All right, so let's get into the ring mall. For those of you who haven't listened before, this is our weekly show where we talk about video games, video game news, and other topics pertaining to video games and customer service and corporate America. We post at 6 a.m. Central Time on Fridays on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and your favorite podcast app of choice. And if you'd like to send us a question, you can do so on Twitter at The Players Take, or you can send us an email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com. All right. One thing I wanted to run by you, Montrell, before we get into the show. Monster Hunter Rise Title Update 5 released today. Are you
Yeah.
going back?
I heard this wasn't the last title update.
Yeah.
I did read that somewhere. I'm
Okay.
gonna wait till the last title update. I haven't touched Wild Hearts yet, which is unfortunate. I've just been busy with other stuff. But I did see the title update, and it is a new monster. That monster does look pretty cool to fight. I also saw that they in the previous title updates they released a lot of armor, not just layered armor, but actual armor and weapons and stuff like that. Which was like our main complaint with base Sunbreak when it came out. So I'll give it a shot maybe at the end of the summer. Um so yeah, maybe around August. Usually that's a dead time for me as far as video game releases and everything like that. So yeah, I may give it a shot. I don't know yet. What about you? How you feel about it?
Well, they released a new monster, Amatsu. I don't know if I don't. It doesn't sound familiar. I don't know if it's a monster that's been in the series before or if it's like new, like they actually made a new monster for this. But I already saw a synchronized swimming 4 greatsword players murder this thing in a minute video come out already today. So
Was it a Team 4 Star? I think their name is.
no, I don't think so. It was some
Okay.
random. I don't know who it
Team Four
was.
Star, like the voiceover people.
That
No,
would
okay.
be
They're not. They're not
weird if
Team.
that was them actually. Yeah.
They're called Team something from Monster Hunter. It's something
Okay.
Star. I know they're like really popular
Gotcha.
in the Monster Hunter community.
Yeah, well, they obliterated this thing, dude. It was hilarious to watch. Timing was like perfect, basically.
Oh, it's Team Dark Side. That's their name.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not. I don't think I want to play right now either. I'm happy with what I'm playing, to be quite frank, at the moment. So, um, I think I'm just gonna keep going where I am and maintain this equilibrium I have with gaming at the moment. Because it honestly, I mean, if you've been listening to us the entire run of this show, you'll know Montrell and I have periods where we just gaming is just gaming funk. It's like that's like our phrase. It happens all the time. So when I'm not in one, I try to embrace it as hard as I can.
Yeah.
So um, so yeah, but probably won't play right now. I think I'm in the same boat as you, like sometime in the summer or whenever that last title update hits. So all right. Let's get into what we've been playing, boys. Why don't we start with our guest this week, DJ? You have like 18 things listed. I know they're not
About
all actually
100.
games you're playing, but
Oh yeah, I can start. So, I I will start with let's go bottom top, right? Uh, Forza Horizon 5. Uh, ever since coming back from GDC and just like actually relaxing from like doing game dev stuff, I try to start playing some games again. Start playing Forza, and it's Forza. like, I don't know what to say. If you played a Forza Horizon before, I feel like it's the same thing. I'm
Mhm.
just I'm just in Mexico. Like the scenery, everything still looks gorgeous. It's a fun game to play because it's not like I play racing games all the time, so it's like
yeah.
coming like skipping like 3 Call of Duties, right? The last one I played was Forza 3, so I haven't played 4. I'm enjoying this one. It's fun. Uh, Vampire Survivors, though, I see why that is a game of the year. That shit is fun as fuck. Have you ever played it?
No, I know
No.
I've heard of it, and I think I know what it is, but
I highly recommend playing it. It's no lie, right? All it is just like enemies coming at you and you got to
yeah,
kill
like
them.
a wave based gameplay, right? Yeah.
Yes, and you just move. You don't do anything, and uh, it's one of those games where, and I it frustrates me because when I see people play this, I never hear people talk about this specific loop mechanic, and I love it because this is what makes me like video games. Right?
Mhm.
It's a roguelike game, just like every other roguelike. Every time you level up, you unlock weapons. Right? You can hold up to 6 weapons and 6 items. Right? The mechanic that I like is that every weapon can upgrade if you have the right item, but you have to max out that weapon. Don't have to max out the item, max out the weapon, and then if you beat a mini boss, it drops the chest. That weapon upgrades, right? And then you got some weapons that can merge after they upgrade, right? And so Once I found that shit out and the way I started building my characters, like I became OP'd in the game. Got to the point where I know, like, when you don't give a fuck if the game is random or not. I know what I'm gonna build and I know I'm gonna get there.
Hmm. Yeah.
And then like I just rushed through the game, but like I can see why it's addicting because I feel like at times when I find mechanics like that to the game, I break the game for myself. Like I get so good where the game is not fun anymore because I'm just overpowered all the time, right? It's no challenge.
Yeah.
Most people don't hit that point. And then I can see why this game is fun because of that. But outside of that, it's a fun game. It's like $5. It's on Xbox Game Pass. Play it for free.
Okay.
I played that on cloud gaming. I would have to give Xbox Cloud Gaming their fucking props. That shit works as intended. And I played on good connections and bad connections, and I feel like it's the same fucking service. Uh, I played it on an iPad. I played it on my computer. I played it on a laptop. Played it on my fucking phone. Just I was able to connect my Xbox and my PlayStation controller up to it with no problem. My girlfriend plays it. Use Xbox Cloud Gaming all the time to play The Sims.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing. Uh, it just works. I see a use for it. I see a use for it. I try to keep like my iPad on me all the time now, just in case if I want to play a game. Uh, Sounds fucking dumb, but yeah. Outside of that, Marvel Snap. Been playing that a lot. It's a mobile card game made from the people who made Hearthstone. With Marvel characters. The game is only 6 turns. I've been playing it for like the past 5 months. Just very addictive card game. It's just nice, nice to have. I like to have card games on my phone. I've been
Yeah.
playing like NBA 2K for the longest, so it's nice to have a new card game to play until I get bored of this and play something else.
Hmm.
Uh, but like if you like Hearthstone, like dead ass, it's literally just like shorter Hearthstone. Uh, Predecessor, that is the Paragon remake. This is the one that you have to pay for right now because it's in early access. It will be going free to play by the end of this year. Uh, I talked about this the last time I was here because I was playing on the free to play version, the free to play one with Paragon.
Yeah.
I like
Hmm.
this version better. Um, Paragon has things of it that I like. And like I said before, that feels like more like Paragon 2. And I thought I liked it for that. But like the problem is that it doesn't feel like Paragon what I liked. It felt like a new game, which is completely fine, right? Because you can carve your own lane that way. But
Yeah.
like I wanted to play Paragon. I did not want to play with the characters because I could play any game with those characters. I wanted to play Paragon. And Predecessor is the best iteration of that so far. I've been playing. I'm back to playing DPS a lot. That was my main role when I first started playing Paragon. Fucking killing it with it. I really wish I had a fucking support because to give you examples, at times like this happens to me all the fucking time. When we trigger, I'm good at DPS, so good that I don't give a fuck if I got like 10 kills. I know I'm gonna outkill everyone in the game, and I know we still gonna win. The game may just be longer, it may be a 40 minute or hour game, but we gonna win.
Yeah.
uh, my problem is that like people play aggressive a lot in this game, and so you would have the jungle just like ganking you at level 1, 2, and 3, right? Just to stunt my growth, right?
Yeah.
And the problem is that, of course, y'all know how these games go. A lot of people don't not know how to play the game as efficient as you. I do
Yeah.
like their matchmaking because they try to keep it MMR based, even if it's like open queue right now, or like non ranked. But I get steamrolled, and if I don't have a good support, or if people feel like I'm doing a bad job, they would just leave me. So I'm like, I'm just by myself. And yesterday this happened, and it pissed me off because I hate when this shit happens. Um, I probably got to level 7. I was ahead. I'm killing their DPS. I died twice, but I died twice because my jungle is not helping me, and their junglers keep coming and ganking. And I'm like, bro, if you just like showed up one time, I don't need you to show up all the time. I don't need you to sit in my lane. Just show up one time, say hello, so that can steer their jungle from coming out all the time because he know you would come over here. And I do so much damage at all points of the game that if you show up, I can kill everybody by myself. I just need you to just like shave some damage because every fight I'm having, like, I would leave 3 people in a 3v1. I would leave everyone with under 25%. And I can't just focus on one person because if I focus on one person, I die faster. So I got to hit everyone to keep people off me to kind of survive, you know? But point goes, I get to level 7 and then I die. Their ADC and support is getting ready to come back, and then in the middle, I'm seeing our mids get ready to come gank, and he's talking about, "Hey, let's kill these motherfuckers." I go and help him, and his guy, he ended up doing damage. His guy ended up leaving because he attacked too soon. And so I'm trying to get to the left as fast as possible, but on my way to the left, because they pushing up closer to our tower, I'm like, damn, this is about to be an easy kill. The jungle came and saw me. He met me halfway, then he basically botted me, right? I'm not going to be the jungle solo this early. And then if my supports complain, all right, what you doing? Like, bro, like calm the fuck down. Like, matter of fact, no, that was my second death. That wasn't my first death. I was like, that's my second. Like, calm the fuck down. I'm level 7. I'm over. I'm winning everything. I'm level 7. I got 2 kills and I only have 10 farm. The other dude got 3 deaths, zero kills. He got 30 farm. I was like, I'm fine. And after that motherfucker haven't played with me. I've been in the lane by myself, and that's when I start getting steamrolled. And this always when I get steamrolled is when my support leaves me because like I don't have no one to help me in fights. And so I'm just dying easily. You over there helping everyone else but me. And then when I complained earlier, you said that I was doing something. I was out there feeding and dying. I was like, bro, that was my second death at level 7. What the fuck are you talking about? You have more deaths than me.
Life of the ADC, man.
So you know what? It's funny. People shit on the league community, but I just think it's MOBAs in general because what you just described is it's literally the league experience. I'm pretty sure it's Dota experience.
Look, I'm about to tell you what it is. It's just gamers in general.
It's competitive gaming in general.
It's just competitive game because the problem is everyone doesn't know how to play the game to your level. And the only time you're going to really get that is in a comp game, but still in a comp game, there always going to be at least one person in the team that's not on par with everyone else. And that will fuck up a game, whether it's going to fuck up your team or it's going to fuck up their team. It always happens.
I don't get the mentality. Yeah. I guess because we all played sports, right? You played on like a team sports, right, DJ, in high school or in school, right? And Justin has too, and I have too. So I guess because we played in team sports, like we actually went outside and touched grass, we understand like there isn't
how
such thing. We know how to play as a team, even in a video game setting. Like we know, like okay, like we have to take criticism, or I know I can't just sometimes I just can't carry this game. I'm going to need my team. The problem is a lot of gamers, not to stereotype gamers, but it's like I think a lot of them don't play in team settings outside of like video games. So and then sometimes the games themselves are inherently like, you're one because the term 1v9ing, right? Like why I don't like that term because like that's me going against not only the team but my teammates as well. I'm 1v9ing the entire game. And I think it's like if you watch like, tutorials and everything like that, or not tutorials, but like how to get better at League or blah, 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 blah. And this is how you can solo carry, or this is blah, 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 blah. And it's like always solo carry, always. It's never like, this is how you can work with the team. Yeah.
So what about this, right? So going back to the team aspect that you said, right? They not having people, gamers, not playing in experienced team-based sports like how we did, organized sports. I would attribute it to also they're not having any actual coaches, right? Because everything that we played as a team, especially if it's organized, there's always a coach there to guide us through.
Yeah.
Their guide is exactly what you said, Montrell. Going on these YouTube videos, watching the 1v9, the 1v5 solo carry, X amount of kills in, fucking battle royale games, right? Trying to do the solo carry besides play as a team.
Well, the problem, the issue is those people, those guide videos. So this is actually, I'm glad you brought that up, Montrell. This is like a really great kind of correlation with this, is that those videos aren't personalized, right? They don't know how you play. They don't know your style. They don't know the people you play with in a general way, right? Like So it's kind of hard to coach in that situation. Like you're giving general tips, right? But
Yep.
like the advantage of being on a team and playing consistently and working with the same coach is that coach gets to know how you play and tries to guide you in a way that enhances your strengths, right?
Yeah.
Whereas those videos can't do that. They're never going to do that. That's why I don't tend to watch them that much unless I'm trying to learn something very specific, because they're not tailored to me, you know. And
Yeah.
also to your point, they're very focused on be selfish, but that becomes the player mentality, and it's just like me and Montrell have talked about this so much on this podcast when it comes to MOBAs. Is like MOBAs are team games. They're like a sport.
Hmm.
You can't play them. You cannot play them assuming that you're trying to carry. You're not playing fucking like it's not like trying to like you're trying to play fucking basketball where you're like a professional basketball player with a bunch of randos. You know, it's like yeah, you're gonna carry in that situation, but none of us are that good at these games.
Hmm.
You know, so it's like
But there are some games when you do absolutely carry.
true.
Oh
No, it
my
happens.
gosh,
Absolutely,
man! What
it does
happens in a
happen.
mobile?
Yeah, but it can't be the primary mentality you go into every game with, you know?
Agreed.
And
Yes.
I think a lot of people do that in MOBAs, and we see it with our randos all the time. They're hyper selfish. They fucking they like fucking int if they don't get the role they want, or they get fucking filled into something they don't want, and none of us want to swap with them. They fucking they throw the game and they ruin the fucking game for everybody else, you know? It happens a lot, and it's like it's a really frustrating thing because I think it is I think it's really true that I think it does have something to do with these a lot of gamers probably did not play sports when they were younger, you know, like their first introduction to competitive like any kind of competition is through video games, and it's unhealthy because video games don't give you unless you're in person, they don't give you
I was just about to say
yeah,
that.
and they don't give you a way to interface with the other side of the game, you know, or even the other people you're playing with. You're not
Hmm.
with them, you know. You're not like there's no camaraderie building. It's just it's like you might as well be playing with a bunch of robots,
Because
you
I'm
know.
pretty
Well,
sure if they was playing on N64, they will have that experience that we were talking about.
Yeah,
yeah, 100%. You have to do couch co-op. You have to do couch competitive. You have to learn how to play against somebody and take the shit talking that people are giving to you
Hmm.
in person and still maintain that what they call it getting tilted. But like people used to get tilted in real life. Like you have to learn
Oh,
absolutely.
you
how to
gotta
get
do
through
it
that.
That shit was
calm.
so
You
funny,
just
man.
gotta.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Like you had, if you were on the court on the neighborhood court and someone just trash talking, you have to learn how to get through that and still how to make a three or a layup or whatever. And they may block your shot. And on top of that, you have people on the sideline like saying, "Oh my god, he trash
Talking
as fuck,"
hellish shit.
like talking all the shit to you. But you have to
But
learn how to
and that be
do
some
that.
of the times when the people be get like play their best when you talking shit like they can't do shit but to show
But yeah, and you can, and then you sometimes you
you be
really
playing
can't
good
do
as
shit
fuck.
because that person is just really that better than you or
Yeah.
whatever the case may be. And then, but the thing I did notice about
Oh.
games, which I guess I come to appreciate now, because like you said to your point, like other games like Call of Duty and everything like that, and Halo, we always had the kill death ratio on the screen, right? So you will have like Halo, right, and it will have, you know, 26 kills and then two, then four, and then one of the person or whatever. And then people would trash a person that like only had one fucking kill and like 26 deaths or whatever the fuck or whatever the case may be, right? I see a lot of games like I'm playing Apex, like the LTM modes, or the team deathmatch modes. Even in Call of Duty, they do this where they don't have the death part of the KDR anymore. It's just a KR, like your
Yeah,
kills, and then um and the KDA or the A, the kill and the A and the assist part anymore, because I don't think people want to get blamed because it is like it's a mentality like, okay, well, this person is getting kills and stuff like that, but I can't see how many deaths they're contributing to the other team or whatever. And I think that's like to kind of offset that whole mentality, like, oh, I'm fucking carrying, like, look at me, like I'm fucking 21-1, and look at this asshole down here, he's 1-15 or whatever the case may be. Whereas like in League, that shit is still there. That shit's
yeah,
still there. You know, MOBAs still have that the D part of the KDA.
Hmm.
And maybe that's one thing. And I know it sounds very snowflake-ish or whatever the fuck, or like participation trophy type shit, but it's like maybe we should get rid of that part because I think that's the only way to teach like these newer class gamers who really don't go outside, unfortunately, who didn't have the couch co-op aspect of stuff, to learn what a team game is. Um, I don't know, like we watch like esports is super popular and stuff like that. But even in the esports mentality, like commentators always talk about specific players and everything of that nature. And I'll even say we do it in regular sports. Like we always talk about LeBron Jameses or the Kobe Bryants and everything like that. But each and every one of them would tell you, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Kobe Bryant would tell you, I had to work with a fucking team. I had to know how to get this team
Not
together.
Michael Jordan.
Well, yeah, not Michael Jordan. He's a
Kobe
fucking
and LeBron,
asshole.
maybe.
Yeah, he's a fucking asshole. But like Kobe and definitely LeBron, they would tell you like I had to learn how to be a leader for a team. Like I had to learn how to do this. Even Tom Brady, like to his
Especially
dismay,
Tom
like
Brady.
yeah, especially Tom Brady. He was nothing special, but he had to learn the game and then learn how to work with his fucking team. So it's just like, but I think like in sports in general, I can't necessarily like me just talking through it. I can't necessarily blame people for the way they think when it's like the selfish mentality of a team game, because like everything is teaching you it's you in the team, not the team in
Also,
you.
everybody's attitude is so negative that it's hard to work with your team. You know, even when
Yeah.
even when we try to do it in league, it doesn't work. These people don't want to work with you. Like they literally just want to blame you and move on to their fucking next game and give up, you know?
Yeah, so I definitely understand, DJ, how you feel when like you're playing. Like this is the reason why when it's just like three of us playing League of Legends, none of us go bot lane anymore because bot lane takes, or in your case, it'll be the ADC or the carry lane. No one wants to be the support because when we play support, we play off each other and we'll even criticize each other like, hey, you should have like been more aggressive right here, or like case may be. I can't type that to a rando because they might be like, oh, you're trying to say my playstyle fucking sucks. And it's like, no, bro, I just need you to be
That's
I just need
exactly what
you
I
to be
want.
more aggressive.
I just want somebody that I can communicate with, so we
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
just.
Right.
So
But like,
yeah,
and
I'm
it's
sorry.
funny part is that I don't mind playing support. When I play support, I'm the aggressive support, right? Like I'm trying to like to get some picks so the fucking mains to come to us. I would play a stun character, especially in this game. I'm not playing any support that does not have stun capabilities because you wasting ability time. Like
Mhm.
you're wasting my pressure kills and my pressure deaths because you don't want to fucking aim and throw fucking CC. Man, fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So what else you playing?
the game pisses me off. It's a fun game, but it pisses me off because of the players. Uh, those are the only games I actually played. Outside of that, as I said, I've been to GDC. Here's games that I can just go over real fast. Hopefully, I can get you some nice touch points. And I will answer these two games last because I know y'all really like them. But first, the very first game that I enjoyed, Pacific Drive. It is a roguelike survivor game, basically, right?
Mhm.
Uh, I thought it was going to be like one of the games where you just like drive in a roguelike car, you just kind of survive. I was literally thinking this is going to be Twisted Metal, but just fucking a roguelike Twisted Metal, right?
Yeah.
It's I start off and you outside the car, and then the tutorial, the onboarding is like fucking excellent in this game, right? Uh, tells you exactly what to do without telling you exactly what to do besides the quest menu, right? And so you learn the mechanics like the controls just by looking at the UI. But you start off, you basically just trying to make sure that your car is kept alive. So you upgrade your car throughout the way. You every time your car is damaged, you have to repair your car. You have meters all over. When you are driving your car, this is my favorite thing, is that it's not like regular car driving when it's just first person. You are actually a player. Come on, you. Come on. My bad. She
Cat appearance.
she gets to the side and like would jump up and try to like get my attention so she come on my lap. But it's when you inside the car, you are still control of the player. Like the right stick is the look in the car. So like you have your map to the right in the passenger seat. So you have to literally look down, and it is like, of course, real life. You can't see in front of you. So the immersion is there, and especially when shit is happening in the stage, like a lot is it's dope. It's a dope experience. But outside of that, one thing that I do like about it at the ending of it is like a battle royale. I didn't notice this until the end, but you have a certain amount of time to complete each stage, and you have to collect X amount of like materials to complete the stage. and once you get X amount of materials, it creates a waypoint that you can choose, which is an extraction point. And right when that happens, it goes into battle royale mode, and so the storm or this anomaly starts to happen around you, and it shrinks like a circle, right? And you are literally just driving out, trying to like not die by the storm, and all these monsters and things and that you start spawning, and then the atmosphere start changing in some locations, so your car will get picked up because you just like in zero G. It's fun. Like that whole escape experience is fun. And right when you get to escape, it teleports you to like your little safe house, and that's so you can go upgrade and everything. And that's when the demo ends.
Yeah,
Uh,
man. Twisted Metal Battle Royale.
see, I man,
That
if
sounds
it
like a good
played like to,
idea.
so you, man,
That sounds fun as fuck. Actually, man. I'm not
the
gonna lie.
game is fun if you could control the car with guns. Like if the car had like that twisted metal car gameplay, that would have been
Yeah,
dope.
yeah,
But it's really just it's a survival roguelike.
yeah. Because dude, like thinking about it, right, I want to stick on
It's
Twisted Metal
fun.
for a
It's fun
second.
though.
Well, yeah. Think about Twisted Metal for a second, right? Twisted Metal, like, is a hero shooter with cars. Like it's already got the framework for like
Okay, so
Apex, basically.
here's my
Um,
twisted metal battle royale idea, right? Is that besides you having gone out and kill people, just have create all these crazy ass dumbass racetracks, right? Like Mario Kart. Just create some fun ass racetracks. But the premise is every track can have like X amount of minutes to play, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, right? Then every couple of seconds, whoever's in the last couple places, they just eliminate it. Like that's it. You just drive and you try to stay ahead of the pack, and then you will have your guns and everything where you can kill and take people down, so you can stall them for a while. It's just
yeah,
that's it. That's it. That would be fun. I would play the fuck out of that. I would play the fuck out of that.
it's
But
interesting.
maybe that's just me.
Yeah. Well, Sony's making a Twisted Metal game supposedly, so
You see what happens.
we'll
I
see
don't
what they
trust
do
them.
with it. But what else did you play at GDC?
Goodbye, Volcano High. That is a music like one of
This was
those.
this is a weird one.
Dude, it's so fun. All right,
Okay.
so I thought it was like the characters was all 3D.
Yeah.
3D
No.
characters, they are not. They are all hand drawn, but they
Yeah.
just have so many drawn instances that all the emote like it's great. It's probably like the best visual novel game that I played because the characters actually emote. You don't just like sit there. Like you don't just have like a image. Uh One thing that I think that's cool about this compared to the other visual novels that I have played is that you are playing a character and it's all driven by music, right? And so you're playing a character in a band and like you're going through their whole story, yip the yabba, but you have all these other mini games of life that you do. And so like you start to design your band logo and she does that in class while she's not listening to her teacher. Uh when you playing the music, it's kind of like a Guitar Hero style, and so you have these three circles at the bottom. That's your left stick. You can use the left stick to go left, right, or up, and these circles will come up from the top of the screen down, and from the left or the right, all towards the center. And you just got to make sure that your left stick is in that circle by the time a circle hits. And then there will be different events that will also happen on screen that will tell you to press like X on time when they do like the icon when the circle was closing into the button and you got to press it at the right time, and then you would have to press like the sticks at the same time, the left stick and the right stick pointing up or down at the same time. But what I like about it is that um all the scenes, it all seems seamless because like you will play through a musical scene or practicing with your band members, right? And then they would do something slick like, hey, because it's all shot and looked like a music video, right? And then like as the music video is ending, they would transition it to like the characters, whatever they're doing in the next scene, and then they would still have that song kind of playing in the background, like the first instance of them doing it. They had the song that the character was playing, it bled into her ringtone because she was listening to her phone. Right, she's like, "Oh, I can't wait to show this to my friends." Right, then you go into like the regular dialogue scenes. Um, Outside of that, they have like that whole persona system where you can see everyone that you have relationships and how good your relationships are. So you have like that whole sim aspect of it. I don't really get excited for these style games, and ever since I saw it on the PlayStation State of Play, I was interested in it. I'm glad I played it at GDC. I know that I'm going to play it day one. It's my style of game now as an older adult, right? Because I'm starting to realize I don't really play a lot of like or sit down to play like a lot of the high action games that I used to. Uh, Outside of that, meeting the holler for you, Justin. Basically, to summarize it, it is a Game Boy Advance game for the new consoles. It took me a while to get used to the gameplay
Yes.
because of like you had to think backwards of how they used to design those games. Like you know how they hide the dumb stuff on the stages and shit like
Yeah,
that.
man, they hide it behind like cuz everything was
Oh,
like 2D, you know? So it's like so they like obscure things with a sprite with the image, you know? Like
they do it so well.
yeah.
This they still have that Dark Souls mixture. Like so you start off, you have you get to pick between multiple weapons. You had like the if I remember, you had a hammer. If you charge onto the hammer, they swing it. It does this dope ass AOE effect, and then as you charging onto it, you can like actually dodge and roll around. And so, like I was wave dashing with it. Somebody saw me doing it. He was like, "Oh, I didn't know you could do that."
Yeah.
The other one was these daggers that she attacked fast with them, and she can throw the daggers, and you have to go and pick it up. And the other one was like the base, like whip and mallet mace combo. When you die, you leave behind like an orb that you would have to go back and get. And you also you can teleport back to your house when you die, and that's when you can upgrade your character and switch your weapons. Um, Outside of that, you can find abilities on the field that works like special items, just like what you would think of in Zelda. Uh, there was like three different currencies, but one of them that you mainly upgrade your character, and the other one that you collect to upgrade like some of your stats, and you get and those are just like hidden around. And so I just roaming around, I end up finding this one area that I cleared the mini boss, and I end up getting like a shit ton of points to upgrade like any part of my stats, and I chose like my armor because I fucking take a lot of
Okay.
damage in that game.
That's
Uh,
easy.
and I haven't
Yeah.
played like a 2D game like that in a while, so it's kind of hard for me to stay alive. But like after coming back and playing it the next day, I got the groove of it. I was like, oh, if I sat down and play, I know that I would enjoy this game. But the problem is that like I don't like these style of games anymore. But it's
Well,
for someone.
it's like Zelda. It's like it kind of reminds me of like what it looks like is like a Game Boy Advance version of like Link's Awakening, you know, but with
Yes,
better
it's
better
that
gameplay.
that meets Castlevania meets Dark
Yeah,
Souls.
yeah, certainly. Yeah, because there is a whip in there and stuff too, right? And the game's
Hmm.
aesthetic is certainly more Castlevania than anything, too.
But yeah, and she got this little jump ability that I like. When she jumps in the air,
Yeah,
and if you hold on to it, she will dive on the ground, and then like you release it, she can jump again. It took a while to get used to that. That was a tricky one because they have a couple platformer sections where you can use that on. But right
yeah,
when you get used to it, that is a amazing dodge ability in combat. It takes a while to start up, but like if you anticipate an attack coming, you can just dodge every attack with that.
yeah.
And when she comes up, she can do damage as well. So outside of that Montrell, I have Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. Uh, the best way how I can describe this game is not an open world, but what they call like the open zone jet set radio mixed with Tony Hawk. That's it. Tony Hawk pro skaters to be specifically. In every little zone they have like different graffiti spots that you can tag. And when you tag the graffiti spots, you don't tag them one time. And like this little circle will come up and you will have to like flick your stick and like all five or four whatever little points they have, and you create your own symbol, and that creates an image. And then from there you just can keep tagging onto it by like creating different patterns. If you create the same pattern, it just keeps putting the same pattern on there, but you're supposed to just go up there and keep create different patterns, and it keeps upgrading the graffiti until you get like this masterpiece of a graffiti, and that gives you extra points or whatever. In every stage, there's vehicles that you can unlock. there was skateboards, bicycles, longboards, rollerblades. I feel like I think scooters or something like that, and it's some other vehicles, right? Each stage has hidden vehicles of all those different types, and in each variation, so you can unlock a vehicle for each stage. Uh, I like it because they have the like crazy Sonic rails, and I just like how they having fun with it, right? Because with Sonic, we've seen this how people was getting caught up of how the rails are in the air. Like you don't see it happening like that, but I just like how it's just fun. You just have rails in the air for no reason. You got this building here for a reason, but it kind of doesn't make sense. It's just there. It's the aesthetic for the game. Uh, and so level design is is perfect, and it's a lot of verticality there as well. And so I can see the people that like these type of action games doing like crazy, how crazy like the people discovering the combat of the game, just like how people discover the combat of Devil May Cry 3 and the original Devil May Cry, like how Montrell spoke about it last week, right? Uh, and it's coming out this year too. It's coming out in August, so you will be able to play in like 4 months, Montrell. So
Yeah,
outside of
sounds
that,
sounds just like the regular Jet Set Radio Future. Jet Set Radio Future was like an open zone type game. So
see, and I don't even remember those games like that, man. Like I just remember having a demo on the Xbox. I never even played it on the Dreamcast. So I don't even
yeah,
know what's the difference between Future or Radio.
yeah, radio it had levels, and each level was like um well, it had zones, but each zone had a level, and then the levels were time based. So you had a certain amount of time to go through the levels to graffiti everything. And then Future did the open zone thing to where like each zone was connected because obviously hardware limitation at the time. And instead of having the time, it was more like a almost a adventure type game to where you were going to these zones, you were challenging these gangs, and you attack certain stuff up, and then like an event will happen or whatever. Maybe the gang wants to fight you or whatever, and the way they'll fight you is either they'll erase you, or you have to tag their backs, or have to tag you, or you have to
Mm,
tag the most graffiti or whatever. Then like maybe, but it had a whole story component to it as well. So there's a whole overarching story as well. Um, like one of the members of your gang, because your gang was called Jet Set Radio, or Jet Set, and then one of the gang members that first comes that starts it in Jet Set Radio Future, uh he's actually like an informant for another gang that you find out. Like,
mm,
and then like the events that happen in Jet Set Radio is the reason why half your gang is gone in Jet Set Radio Future, and then you gotta try to get them back and stuff. So it's like a whole, and then you're fighting the police as well. So it's like a whole thing that's going down in Tokyo and everything like that. And then the whole element, the whole overarching thing is like everybody's into hip hop. This is like this pirate radio station that's blasting these hip hop things and saying what's going on with the latest hip hop or with the latest gangs and everything like that. I mean, it's really 2000s because nobody listens to the radio anymore. Like, uh, yeah, it's like really 2000. So like, pirate radio stations were a thing back in the day. And yeah, it was just like it was a really cool game. It was one of the first games that made me want to like really see what Tokyo was about. I didn't even know Tokyo had a hip hop scene and they loved hip hop over there until like that game came out, and I was like, holy shit! Like people in Tokyo and Japan love hip hop, and it was like a game that kind of you know married both cultures and everything like that, in my opinion, because a lot of people didn't know that until I actually went to Tokyo after high school and I saw that shit when I went over there, and I saw like people dancing in the fucking subways at like 2 o'clock in the morning or some shit like that. They were like,
mm.
beatbox dancing and had like, cardboard boxes down there, fucking break dancing and shit like that. So like, yeah, it's a thing that people do over there in Tokyo. I don't know if it's just locked out there now, but uh Japan has always had like a huge like hip hop scene and everything like that. So yeah, I thought it was a pretty cool game. And then Sega just dropped that franchise when they dropped a lot of other things. And yeah, that team is picking it up and like trying to be a spiritual successor to it, which is cool. It's like a little bit I love the game, but now like Sega, I guess realized that they're trying to do that, and now they're trying to remake Jet Set Radio
Yeah, I
with
heard.
the so that's going to be interesting to see like what they do with the game and everything going
Honestly, man, I
forward.
just hope this was a better version, man. Because
Yeah.
one thing, and you talk about this all the time, I'm sure. And right now, I think this console generation, we're going to see this in fruition. Is that indie games is the double A, and I've been seeing a lot of like cool, dope indie games that's been releasing, especially coming up within the next couple of months. That like, if this year is looking like this, I can't wait to see next or what next year is going to look like. Right? What are people cooking that we don't know about?
Hmm.
It's kind of like this year in gaming, right? Like everyone knew that this year was going to be a good year, right? People felt this year, and like it's holding true with all the stuff that's releasing. And I have that feeling with indie games. Like I feel if it's not next year by 2025, that's when at least some of the bigger indie publishers will have the respect of some of the masses when it comes to people who really play about games. And so you're not going to hear people talking about all these triple A games all the time. You're going to hear people talk about more of the indies or the double A, right?
Hmm.
And they have like indie games are being creative when it comes to game design. They are taking chances, and that's why I'm liking it. Like a fucking survival role. Like who the fuck would make that shit? Like who Justin, to your point, who would make a twisted metal battle royale? Like no one.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
I want another Vanquish. I want another Beautiful Joe. Like and the only
Well,
people who are gonna make that are indies at this point.
yeah,
And
we're gonna see that with Twisted Metal, right? Like, cause as I said, I'm pretty sure there's a game being made. What are they gonna do with
mm-hmm.
it? Are they gonna be innovative with it, or they're gonna just make like a like? Because the I remember the one that came out on PS3. You guys remember that Twisted Metal?
Twisted, yeah, it was just Twisted Metal. That was
It
trash.
was just called Twisted Metal. It was literally the worst game in the fucking franchise because they didn't
Mm-hmm.
they like tried to be innovative, but they wanted to keep the framework still there, like similar to the old games, and it was they just made this mishmash game that was fucking terrible. They didn't like embrace anything. They didn't embrace what they were trying to do new enough, and they just made a bad. They ended up making a bad game, as a result. So it's like I think with yeah, I think to your point, like innovation just
God
doesn't
damn, you
come
got
from
me thinking. I'm
AAA, man.
sorry, you have me thinking about Twisted Metal right now, and I'm like, oh man, that
Well,
Twisted Metal should just be a racing game.
it's been 20 years since we've had a real
Oh,
one that was like good, So there's been so much that's happened in the game industry and so much advancement in terms of technology and stuff. Like you should be able to do crazy, insane shit with the
mhm.
fucking series like that now at this point.
The
Um,
problem is
Adult Mario
everything.
Kart is what Twisted Metal needs to be.
Yeah. The problem is that everything's industrialized. Um Everything in the video game industry is corporate.
yeah,
And I understand why, because it needs sustainability, because people have lives and they have families and everything like that in the gaming industry. But that also took a lot of innovation out of it, right? Because no one would have thought of, like, for instance, Jet Set Radio. Like no one today would think to do that shit, right? Like no one would be
Hmm.
like, yo, let's have teenagers dance and shit like that and go around spray painting graffiti on the fucking wall. There was also another graffiti game that Midway made. I think it was called Echo.
Oh,
And that
Mark Echoes Unlimited.
Yeah, Mark Echoes Unlimited. Yeah, and like that was a cool ass idea at the time. And I remember I bought that game, but it was like it was an out there idea that like people don't do. And I think even when we do have out there ideas that people do, the gamers don't latch onto it and they don't actually know what they want. Right. For prime example, right? I think Respawn fell into this trap, which is like their games are innovative, like Titanfall 2, right? Now we see everybody, even in Modern Warfare Advanced, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. When that came out, everyone was like, "Oh, this is fucking trash! I can't believe I want boots to the ground, all this other shit like
Hmm.
that." Right? Even I was saying that shit. Then Titanfall came out, and I was like, "Yo, this is like one of the dopest games ever," and and everything like that. And everyone was still like, "Oh, I want boots to the ground," and everything like that. But now we see shooters are like the players want movement, and then the movement they're doing is like this spastastic type bullshit that they call movement, but it's not actually movement. And it's like, oh, what you actually want, bro, is you want Quake or you want Halo or you want Titanfall. That's what you want. That's the game you want. But because these games are old now, but they were innovative at the time, like I don't know, like innovation has just like kind of died in the hands of like in industry stuff
Well,
because we
yeah.
made these games. Like I remember Madden used to do random shit. I remember 2K and 2K still does random
Just
shit.
think about the content that used to be in the older games in the PS2 generation, right? Like it's only a couple of game companies I can think of that will put so much content. Like if it was part of those older generations, and one of the only one I can think of right now and that's coming to mind is like NRS with Mortal Kombat and
Yeah,
Injustice. Like
yeah,
they put like
tons of
you would be
content.
you would be fulfilled by just owning that. In modern game, if you was just to buy a Mortal Kombat game, you would be fulfilled for the whole year because you would have that plus your multiplayer games.
Yeah,
But
but
like,
Yeah.
that's the thing. They designed those games. They had to be innovative, right? Because we didn't have the internet. Like we did, but we didn't, right? So it
mhm.
wasn't like I can just go on the internet and play multiplayer games. I had to develop a game. To be honest with you, like I think Halo 2 was like the weakest Halo as far as like content wise, because I remember when that game came out, everyone complained how short the campaign was because they focused a little bit too much on multiplayer. And then Halo 3 came out and it had the best of both worlds. It had like a lot of fucking multiplayer and a lot of single player content. But even in that single player content, they had to be innovative or whatever the case may be. And a lot of these sports, or not sports games, but a lot of games in general, like you had Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and everything like that, they had to think of modes, and even fighting games, they had to think of so many modes for them to justify this $50 price tag. Like Street Fighter used to have like 20 different fucking useless modes. I remember that shit. Like I just
Mhm.
remembered dumbass modes in Street Fighter, even Mortal Kombat, test your might and all this other shit like that. Like that, we don't really get
Bro,
that
they
shit
made a
anymore.
full another game inside of Mortal Kombat with that single player mode and
Yeah,
had that in there
exactly.
for 4 games straight. And they made a side
Exactly.
game off of it.
You remember
Exactly.
you remember Soul Calibur had that shit too?
Yeah, they had a whole adventure
Oh,
game
Like an
inside that
adventure
shit.
mode? Yeah, that
Yeah.
yeah. Right, and you got like
Like
different weapons and shit out of it for the characters and stuff, like
with
shit used to be fun.
no paid DLC,
no
y'all.
paywall
Like
at
no
all. Yeah.
paywalls at all. And like that's a foreign concept now. People are like, you need DLC now. It's like you don't. Like we used to get all this shit. Like back in the day, we used to get DLC. Like Mass Effect DLC was fucking DLC. Like that shit was
Hmm.
worth $10. That added a whole 5-6 hours to
That
your
was a,
game.
and then they integrated with the actual story so you could replay the game and play that shit right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, I think the thing we're missing is these like I don't even think innovation is the right word. It's more uniqueness. I don't think
Yeah.
very many games
Hmm.
go for the idea of trying to be unique, you know. Because I think a lot of the games that I tend to gravitate towards and the ones that I end up liking a lot are games that are really unique because I'm thinking of like fucking 13 Sentinels that I played last year.
Mhm.
And dude, it's like literally one of my favorite games I've played in the last like 5 years. Cause dude, it's so fucking unique within the game space of what it is. You know, there's just I'm sure there are games that are similar to it and have done things similar to it, but it's the fact that it's just so unique within games, but it's also super fucking high quality, you know? Like it's an extremely
Hmm.
well made game. And those things put together are like that is where the realm of like tens exists for me. You know,
I agree.
fucking Nintendo making the 18th Zelda game, it's going to be really hard for them to make a 10 in my opinion with that kind of thing because you've made so many of them over the years, you know. And that maybe that's a flaw of the way I evaluate games, but it just kind of is what it is for me at this point. Like
I agree with you. That's with
I value
everything.
unique ideas, you know, in
Well,
games. I
that's
really
why
do.
Nintendo games, in my opinion, are still really good, right?
Yeah.
They do have these unique ideas or whatever the
It's
case may
true.
be.
They are good about that. They don't
Yeah,
make the same exact game over and over. That's why like a direct sequel like this Tears of the Kingdom coming out is kind of weird for them because they don't usually do that
yeah.
very
I
often.
mean, the
So
last time they did that, right, was like Majora's
Majora's
Mask.
Mask.
Majora's Mask, but
Yeah,
that was like a totally different
I know, and
structure
like,
in terms of gameplay to Ocarina of
yeah,
Time, you know.
but like, think of the reason why they did Majora's Mask and why they did Tears of the Kingdom. It seems like the same exact shit. The same exact fucking reasoning. The same exact reasoning. The only difference is that Tears of the Kingdom. This is why I think Tears of the Kingdom will be good and will perform good, right?
hmm
Because this shit was developed for the Wii U, and then they ported it to the Switch. This game
Yeah.
was developed. for the Switch. And one thing Nintendo has been keen on, the good games, that every one of them has been optimized for the Switch. Because people think about Nintendo as Pokemon, like, nope, that's that game company. Or no, that's the Pokemon company.
That's a
Like,
Pokemon
they don't know
company.
how to optimize that shit. Mario Odyssey was good. Mario Rabbids is Ubisoft, but that was good. Metro Dread, from what y'all said, that was
Mm.
good. Prime Remaster, I'm pretty sure
Oh,
that's good because I
Xenoblade,
haven't heard anything. Xenoblade, both
Xenoblade, the
Xenoblade 2 and 3,
Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblems. Like, so I know that this is going to run good. I and if this one specific rumor is true about it, uh, I'm sorry. Whether this is a spoiler or not, I don't give a fuck. They say it's supposed to have two different maps, like actual two different maps. So if they added on another map to what they had, even if it's on some Hyrule Laurel type shit, I'm down for it.
Yeah, I mean
Uh,
that's cool. I mean, but like Nintendo was like yeah, like we were just saying, like as a prime example, all those games you just mentioned are unique. Even the Kirby game is like fucking unique.
oh fuck,
And
I
then
forgot about Kirby. That
yeah, and
motherfucker been dropping games every year, and every one of them has been a different game.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's
Oh,
even if you want to be like, all right, the mascot Mario, right? Like each Mario plays completely different. Galaxies play like the only one you can probably compare to each other is 64 and Sunshine, but even Sunshine plays different from 64.
Well,
So
there
it's
was
like
Galaxy
what
and
makes
Galaxy
Mario's
2.
games
Galaxy and
is what.
Galaxy 2. Yeah, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. I forgot
Yeah.
about those two.
There's the times they've done direct sequels, which has been pretty rare, but
Yeah, but
But
like
like that's what
almost.
that's what makes Mario games get great. And that when I and this is why I compare it to Sonic, because Mario, they know the movement, they know the locomotion.
Mm,
For 3D and 2D, they keep to that. The only thing they add is a specific mechanic that will enhance that or make you
mm,
play that differently, right? And you seeing Sunshine is a prime example because they will have those stages without the when you just have the platform, and that shit's completely different than if you
hmm
have the water jetpack in that game.
Well, yeah, and that's where in my opinion, that's where Sonic Team kind of failed. They didn't understand what Sonic was, right? The innovation or the uniqueness of each Sonic game. And people to this day hate Sonic Lost Worlds. I actually love that game because it's so different from the other Sonics or whatever.
Hmm.
At the time we were just getting boost to win, boost to win. Then we get this Lost Worlds game that's kind of like a Mario Galaxy esque type Sonic that has a run button, and it's like I was like, oh, this is actually fucking cool. I actually like this shit, and people hated it, but it's like I liked it because it was just so different. And people don't understand, like that's why I also like Sonic Adventure. They liked Sonic
Hmm.
Adventure because it was so different from like the 2D Sonics we were getting at the time.
yeah,
It
it's
was
unique within the space of that franchise.
Hmm.
exactly. And then we never got another Sonic Adventure after that. That's why that game is looked at the way it is. Like people were like, "Oh, Unleash is like the best and
Well,
Sonic fucking Colors are the best." And it's like those are still the same aspects of games. I'm still boosting to win. Even
Hmm.
Sonic Generations, I'm still boosting to
Hmm.
win. But
But
then when you
what made Sonic Generations good out of all the boost games was its level design, and that's the
exactly, but
only
you had a
thing I
two
was asking
but you
for.
but you had a 2D Sonic in there to throw a
Y-
mix to the boost, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
and
what
the
it was.
2D part was good too, as well. That's the bad part about it. Like
Yeah,
it was good. They finally got it.
exactly. So
Marcho, they finally fixed Boost because you used to always complain about Boost, and I think the problem with Boost specifically was its level design.
yeah,
Was its level design, and
it was the
Sonic
level.
Generations was so rewarding to play.
Yeah, exactly. And I agree with you. It was the level design. I don't think it was challenging enough. But it was just like every game after that, like after like Unleash came out, every game was like boost to win or whatever. And it's
Mhm.
like it lost its uniqueness within the franchise or whatever. So I don't know. I think that's an excellent point. That's why people do turn to indie games because they make these fucking weird ass games that I may not like, but there is someone out there that will love that shit. And it's like cool. Like and I'm also glad that like Unreal is coming out. Unreal 5 is getting more affordable because I'm actually tired of the retro thing. Like I don't like the retro thing at all. It came from like and I understood it was like a money thing at the time, and everything like that. But like I'm glad these engines are becoming more affordable for even people, single developers, to make a 3D game, a unique 3D game that within current graphic times or acceptable times or whatever.
People still making them on PS1 games.
Well, I think
Yeah,
the thing is, I don't want that style of game to die necessarily. I don't think I don't
It
want
was
every
oversaturated
indie.
market.
Yeah, it became oversaturated, right?
yeah,
It's fine when like Yacht Club's a good example, right? They use that style of 2D game, that sprite-based gameplay. They do that like exceptionally like as well as those old fucking NES games were doing it, you know?
yeah,
So they're like if you're gonna be of that quality, it's fine, right? Like Mina the Hollower is also Yacht Club, and that's like it looks fucking amazing. Like it looks phenomenal for that style of game. But like every motherfucker who's like a solo developer making that kind of game, it's like, it just doesn't. We don't. They're not all going to be of that quality bar, and
Hmm.
eventually you get oversaturated, and it's just becomes a fad that's not appealing anymore. So I
yeah,
don't want it to die, but I get what you mean.
It's
yeah. I
just the
think,
same thing with Call of Duty. I don't want it to die. I just need less of it.
Yeah. Oh my god.
yeah,
I think
and that's
everybody
when
does.
people get upset when I say stuff like that, and it's just like, bro, I don't want the franchise to die. I just need. That's what made Call of Duty what Call of Duty
Moderation,
was.
man, moderation. None of
Yeah,
us, nobody in the modern, not in modern America understands the idea of fucking moderation with
Like
anything.
God of War is a perfect example, right? We got it was kind of trickle out at first of how we was receiving it, and then it was like felt like it was almost every year because they had like 3 or 4 games back to back, including like the PSP games,
Oh yeah,
and then
and
we
then
got a break.
Ascension
but then
finished
you
it
Then we got
off.
also
another
had
God of War.
then you had games that try to be God of War. You know what I'm saying?
Dante's
Oh
Dante's
yeah.
Inferno, and then
What
like
was
all
that?
these other.
Darkstalkers, or whatever it's
Dark
called.
Side. What was that? What was that metal game? That did that style too.
Middle game. Oh no. With Jack Black.
Yes, yes. I forget the name of
Oh
it.
my
Oh, I
god,
There
no,
were
forgot.
a
I
it's
lot
know.
of
Tim
clone.
Schafer game.
There were a lot
Yeah,
of
there are a lot
clones.
of clones. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like even today, right? Like it's just weird how like we see something that works and then everybody wants to emulate it, and I
Battle Royale,
Sony's
understand that.
cloning.
live
Sony
service.
studios all clone each other, dude. They
Hmm.
literally are all copying
They
each other.
got
There's so
one
much.
model.
Yeah, they do. They do. And dude, they've had this model. Dude, they've had this model for fucking years, like a decade now. And it was a thing. I remember in 2015 they did their E3, and I remember coming out of that E3 thinking like every single one of these games is the same game with a different skin on it. It's a third
That's why
person
they got
action adventure
Bungie.
game. Yeah.
That's why they got Bungie. Bungie's going to help them mix them up.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
and they opened up another studio or whatever. But it was like, yeah, when Call of Duty came out, that was a unique game at the time because we did have a lot of arena shooters at the time and everything like that. And now it's not unique. Everyone wants to be Call of Duty now, and it's like, all right, man, I guess. And then even Call of Duty is like a meme of itself at this point. And
Mhm.
it's just like we can't keep trying to recapture that goal. We got to try something new.
You gotta innovate the first person shooter. That's why I like this Magic game that's coming out. I'm about to play the
Yeah,
fuck out of
yeah.
that. Oh,
Um,
that looks dope.
I don't know, and I guess the consumers we are the responsible for it because we keep buying the shit. So it's just like we keep
Yeah.
speaking with our wallets and we keep saying that we want this, and they keep doing it. And when
I
we
think
try
that
to do
yeah.
something unique or new, we don't pay for it because it's so out of the norm for us. You know what I'm saying? So I don't
Hmm.
know.
All right. Well,
Yeah, we've
we do
been
need to be
on a
cognizant of the
tangent.
time here. We
Yeah.
got severely sidetracked. So, DJ, I think that was the last game you were
Oh
talking
yeah,
about,
that's
right?
it. That's it. That's it.
Okay, so Montrell, what have you been playing?
Uh, Apex Legends a little bit. I played League of Legends a little bit as well. Had the same kind of quorums as DJ had over there as
Yeah,
well.
quick thing about League. I just want to talk about it real quick because I want to bring it back to the conversation we were having about people not playing sports. I think,
Uh,
man, I love playing with our friend group, right? But man, I just they don't know how to play as a team, man. And it's starting to get to me a little bit. you
Well,
know?
yesterday it got to me a little bit. And Andy, Andy was like, to his dismay, he was like, "Yo, just say it, just say it." And I was like, "All right, man." He's like, I'm trying to give y'all advice on how to play the game because I understand like people played League back in the day. Y'all all played the beta. I didn't play the beta. I came in like 6 years after the game was fucking popular. You know what I'm saying? 6 or 7
Yeah,
games after they popular.
yeah.
Um, but I was telling him like I've been playing the game consistently since then, so I understand how to work. And we were going to get Aurelia mid, and I'm like, all right, uh, we can beat this Aurelia. We have a CC. We all have CC. All we need is anti healing. So I'm like, everybody just buy anti-healing. Like, just buy
Yeah.
like some kind of grievous wounds item. I'm telling them to do that, and they're not doing that. And then we're getting mad that we're losing the game. And they're like, oh man, really is busted. Even I'm saying that, but I'm like, at the same time, I'm looking at it and I said it in real time. I'm like, I'm saying this character is busted, but at the
Yeah.
same time, I told all of us to get the tools to beat this character. And this character, because honestly, that character was carrying. And I'm like, we could have beat this character. All we have all the tools. We had a Varus, a Swain, Fiddlesticks, Mokai top, and then I was Zed mid. And we had 4 CC characters that can have burn and grievous wounds. And I was telling them, like, yeah, I was telling y'all to get this item because each tick does this and blah, 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 blah. But anyway, yeah, it's like I don't know, when I guess when we get in a certain mode, all of us do it. When we get in a certain mode, if within our friend group, we don't try to listen and we think we can just like bully our way through it. Like we try to criticize ourselves or like, oh, I'm just gonna get through it or whatever. And we always complain too as well. And it's like, and then if one of us comes up with the solution, no one else listens to it. And it's like, all right, maybe we all just need to shut up and like listen to the solution instead of bitching about it. Because I understand sometimes it is nothing we can do. Like sometimes we're playing Apex Legends and we get fucking beamed from across the map with a fucking R99. And it's like, bro, there's nothing you can do about that
2
shit.
million people fucking have hacks in that game. Apparently, everybody's
Yeah,
downloading
so
hacks, bro. So yeah,
yeah,
that one, little less.
it's like nothing you can do. But like League of Legends, I feel like is way more controllable.
No, absolutely, man. We were playing
Yeah.
on Tuesday night, and I was trying AP Varus for the first time. And the first game I played it, I was absolutely obliterating the enemy team, dude. I think I was like 18-4 or something like that. It was fucking nuts. So it was like a good game, right? Or a good way to get introduced to the build. And then the rest of the night was just this fucking frustrating for me, dude. It was because we would either dominate, win in 15 minutes, the enemy team would surrender, or we would get dominated and lose and surrender in like 15 or 20 minutes. And then I remember the last game we played though, like people swapped roles around, and Elias was playing with me bottom, with the support. And he was playing blitz, man. Oh my god, it was such a frustrating match. Dude, I got so mad I threw my headset at one point in the game. I think it was right before the enemy team surrendered. I died because we were fighting a Kate and Lux. I think it was bottom, and that's a really frustrating combo to go up against. But they like the Kate caught me in a fucking trap, comboed me, killed me really fast, and dude, like, man, Elias was just standing there, bro. He didn't get in the way. He didn't like body block. He didn't try to grab the Kate or anything. Like, I was like, I fucking lost it, dude. Because like the whole game up to that point, like, man, he took a couple kills early that I really needed. And then like I died at one point, and then the fucking jungler came in and took the Warwick that was like 15-0, came in and fucking took kills while I was dead. I was just like, he wasn't ganking when I was alive, dude. He just kept coming in and cleaning up after I fucking died. It was really pissing me off.
Yeah.
You know? I was just getting super fucking frustrated. So it's like, I don't know. We tried a couple weeks ago to like talk about shit, and I feel like nothing came of it really.
Well, that was just weird. That was weird. That moment.
Everybody's just doing their own thing, man. Jets back to playing Ash mid. He fucking low ball all the time. Nobody, the Brad's like fucking whatever, bro. He just, he's just doing the same thing he always does. Like, no, it's just, I don't know, man. I feel like I don't like, I love our friend group. I love playing with them. I'm not gonna stop playing with them. I'm just saying, I feel like me and you like are the ones like we get the game a little bit more. I feel like, like we're willing to adapt. I'm willing to play many different characters. I'm not one tricking the same fucking character every night for fucking a month. I don't do that. Generally, I'm trying to have a repertoire.
Even I don't even like to play Silas anymore. I'm like,
no,
right,
you're the most. You play the most characters of anybody, man. For sure. Like, I think the rest of our friends though, they get in these like fucking like periods where they play one character all the time in every situation, and it's like I don't know how to say, like, guys, like, we got to switch it up, man. I can't play with Zareth bottom every game, like like he does not fit with every character, like we gotta fucking switch it up.
Yeah, I get it. And then I guess they're defensive, like it's norms or whatever. And it's like, yeah, I understand, whatever. I
I'm
don't know.
still trying to win though. Like I'm
I
still
don't
trying
know
to
the
win.
I don't know the solution
Yeah,
to the
me
to the
either.
thing.
I don't.
All I know is like it would be funny. I thought about this. If we and you were to play serious and we went to a ranked duo and we climbed to like fucking platinum and they're like, "What the fuck did you guys do?" And we're like,
I mean,
"We
hey,
we gotta fucking play the game." That's what.
Yeah.
That's what the fuck it is, yo.
I mean,
Like,
I'm down, man. I'm down. Me and you are fucking like we're on the same page, dude. Like we are on the same page
but
for the most part with this shit.
even in like we were playing Apex and we had Eddie in our team. He never plays Apex. And we were like fucking carrying. He was doing really good with us because we were like, okay, Eddie, do this, that, third. And we were fucking carrying. Like it was a really good experience. Like even when we were playing Mark, DJ, you remember Mark? He was playing with us. He's fucking good as fucking Apex. He was fucking like when me and Justin were playing with him, like we had the most fun because like our people don't push our team, like our people that we play with, they are scared for their fucking lives to push sometimes. And we're like, me and Justin, like, we gotta fucking push, we gotta push now, like they're down, whatever. And then like they don't do it, whatever. But like Mark just didn't give a fuck. Like he was just like, I'm about to go in there and you guys are gonna follow me or you're not. I'm not gonna die. That's what it is.
He was good enough at times where he didn't even need us. He would just
exactly.
an enemy.
He just run V3 everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
but
don't know.
we started to get the hint and we started following him, and man, we were wrecking people.
See,
dude.
that's how I'm like when I used to play Warzone, especially before Warzone 2. Like shotguns used to be very good in that game, right? And Warzone, they have a lot of buildings, so it's a shit ton of corridors. So motherfuckers used to play with just ARs all the time and SMGs. I'm like, y'all motherfuckers dumb. I'm about to run into this building for shotgun. And so I tell people, especially if I see a red dot, I was like, I'm about to run in this bitch. I just need y'all to follow behind me. This was going to, and every time it plays out like this, and when people don't follow behind me, I get pissed off, right? Because if you was there, we could have cleaned up. Every time it happens like this, I'm going there for shotgun. I have an automatic shotgun. I don't care how many people is in front of me. Somebody is going to drop, is going to die, or I'm going to get 2 people drop. Like, I just need y'all to come there to clean up, because what's going to happen if it's 3 people and and I turn the corner, I'm just with a shotgun, right? One person's going to die. I probably break somebody's shields. I may kill somebody or drop somebody. I know I'm going to do substantial damage to 2 people. If you follow behind me and they drop me, guess what? You're cleanup. Like, I don't care about the kills. I just need the team dead.
Exactly. And that's how I play support in League of Legends, right? Like I would probably sometime go like 10 but have like 35 kills or whatever, because I'm like, I don't care if I die as long as Justin cleans or whoever my ADC at the time is. Like, exactly. I don't care. As long as y'all get the kill and we get that gold, that's cool.
Maybe I'm spoiled by you, man. I've gotten used to you just like letting it go. You don't like the guy's like one hit and you just let him start walking away and you're like, get him, Justin, get him. You know?
Yeah, I would do that. And then like even when I would gank, and then I was like, all right, Justin, I'm about to leave you alone for a minute. When I see Justin's like 3 kills up or whatever, or he's like up on fucking CS, I would just leave his lane and start roaming. And I'll tell everybody like, hey, I'm roaming to your lane. And like, people will get upset that I take a kill sometime. And I'm like, oh, I was here and I've told y'all I'm about to roam and I'm about to start ganking and helping the jungler gank or whatever the case may be or whatever. That's what a support's supposed to do. I'm not just a support to the ADC. I'm a support for the entire team or whatever.
Right.
So either like they're not paying attention to their lanes and I'm coming up and I'm like, hey, I want to come up and gank. They're like, well, my lane's not right where it needs to be. Like, hey, we can get them. Just trust me. And like, people don't have that trust because they still stuck in the solo queue mentality, but you're playing with a group of friends. And I understand the solo queue mentality, but even in solo queue, I had to get out that mentality where I'm like, I just gotta trust this person or whatever the fuck make case. And if they break my trust, the first 2 or 3 kills or deaths, then I know, okay, they're trash. I can't really trust them that entire game or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's what the League of Legends and Apex Legends are, just like team games. And I think like if you don't play sports, or if you never played sports, or if you're just like a solo queue player or whatever the case may be, like those games like punish you for that. Apex Legends, I would say, I give a lot of people leeway on that because the game is played with hackers right now. Unfortunately, there's just a lot of problems with the game.
It's a little bit more reasonable to carry by yourself in Apex. League is
Exactly.
just
No, yeah, League is like not everyone's a scripter, bro. Like you're just bad sometimes. We're just bad
no. There's
sometimes.
very few scripters. There's very few
Yeah.
scripters out there.
Um.
We just get mad. I just get mad, and I'm like, wow, I'm fucking scripted out. But
Yeah.
he's
Exactly.
not really. We've only seen a few, probably.
Yeah. That Morgana was definitely scripted. I would stand by that.
I cannot believe that person did not get banned. I am still absolutely shook that they didn't ban that person because that was insane. Like, dude, yeah, whatever. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was the only one I could say like with a shadow of a doubt that was a scripter. But anyway, I've been playing Kingdom Hearts 2, and I didn't platinum Kingdom Hearts 3, but I beat critical mode and all that other shit like that, and got to yours, whatever the fuck his name is, and everything. So I got there with Kingdom Hearts 3, and I'm playing Kingdom Hearts 2 on the critical mode. And I have a saved account on here, and I got to level 51, and it was on critical mode. So I don't know what the fuck why I dropped the game. I have no idea. Maybe Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna play this shit or whatever. I don't fucking know. But I started over anyway, and I think the criticism. Like, have y'all saw that Joe Biden meme, the Joe Biden Donald Trump meme, where they're talking about Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3 and the difference between them or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
And it was one. I know it was jokes, but it was one criticism in there that's actually like facts, right? Where they're saying like Kingdom Hearts 2 is linear. Each world is linear and small, and I understand. That was the scope of the game and the limitations of the hardware they had at the time or whatever, right? And I can see, like, you remember in Kingdom Hearts 3, they had a whole bunch of fight scenes where Heartless just kept fucking popping out of nowhere. You're just like, bro, what is fucking scene? And I just need to get to the next area. So in Kingdom Hearts 2, you can tell they wanted to do that, but they didn't have the limitations to doing that. Little to in my opinion, that hardware limitation was probably their saving grace, because I was just like, each area in Kingdom Hearts 2, it's not perfect by any means, but the areas don't overstay their fucking welcomes. Like, each world I go to, I'm like, oh, this was a really fun experience. On to the next fucking
You're there
world.
for an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just enough time, man, before you're like, fuck this, dude. Like Kingdom Hearts 3, some of the worlds, dude, like the Pirates of the Caribbean world. I want to kill myself.
Let it go.
When you get on the boat, when you get the fucking boat, dude, and you're like go to these random islands, and I'm like, God.
Yeah, so that's actually a good point I wanted to bring up. So Kingdom Hearts 2, right? When you get to the Pirates of the Caribbean world, I can tell they wanted to do like a sail theme, like, because you go to different points in the map, you have a little mini map, and you can pick which one you go to. And on the way there, like a random event will happen, and like you're fighting some Heartless in the ship, and then next scene you're there. And I understand due to hardware limitations, they probably couldn't do a whole not Breath of the Wild, but Wind Waker type sail thing what they wanted to do in Kingdom Hearts 3 or whatever. But like I said, I think to this game's dismay, or to this game's advantage, that was a fucking advantage, bro. Like, I was on the Pirates of the Caribbean world, and when I was starting to get tired of the world was over. And I loved it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm done with this world.
Well, they also structured the worlds in that game in a smart way, because you go to the worlds, I think, twice each,
yes,
don't you?
You do. Yep.
Yeah, so you get them in short bursts. You get them for an hour, and then you get another hour, maybe 2 hours later.
But then they also had like little stuff where you like intermediate stuff that you had. Like, I had to go back to Mickey's castle because like the Heartless invaded there, or I had to go to Hollow Bastion or some bullshit like that because the Heartless invaded there or whatever. Fuck. So it was like the story structure was really good. And I remember one of the criticisms I had in like Kingdom Hearts 3 was that they were talking, and it would be like these long pauses and stuff like that. That's in Kingdom Hearts 2 as well. I don't know why, but it's acceptable in Kingdom Hearts 2. I can't explain it why it's acceptable in Kingdom Hearts 2.
I think it's some ingredients over here.
Yeah, they're talking, and they're like Diz will be talking to like Ansem, like, Ansem, this is why, Roxas is the, keystone that Sora's heart. Well, really now, blah, 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 blah. And it was like, okay, whatever the fuck. I get it. But I guess it's because of the time period that was in. Like, that's how games talk. I can't explain it. I can't fucking explain it, but it just fits. And it's not a nostalgia thing.
Montrell, it's a Jill sandwich.
Yeah, like it's not a nostalgia thing. It's like this was the time period that this was in, right? Or whatever. And it's like I get it. And then also in Kingdom Hearts 3, the scenes are silent. Like there was no fucking music right behind it. And
Oh,
it's also
it was
present.
just like the trailers.
Yeah, in the Kingdom
Yeah,
Hearts 2,
dude.
in
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 2, it's the same shit. The like there are like epic shit happening, right? And there's no fucking music. It's just quiet. And it's just I'm like, okay, this is but it fits. I can't fucking I can't explain the shit,
It's like the
but it
last scene from the My Hero Academia movie with Bakugo and Deku,
yeah,
when they
but
both have what's the name?
yeah, but it's just
It's
like it'll
quiet.
be like it'll be like little but the scenes don't last that long, right? But they they
Okay.
they last like a minute tops, like each scene or whatever the fuck. Like it doesn't even last that long. And I think that's what they knew at that time period. Like it was like, yo, we just need to get past these scenes or whatever the fuck. Or they like explain the story or whatever, but it'll be like brief. I don't know how they explain it. Y'all
It
just
could
got
be like the length of like the video files they could render. It's like, hey man, these
yeah,
are like
yeah.
a minute each. That's all we got.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably what the fuck it is. You're probably right. So I think these limitations made a greater game because they had these limitations to work with.
If you think
Uh,
about all the great games that we had in the past, like they was great because like if you hear about when people discuss the limitations they had for it, right? Like
mm,
Silent Hill. The reason Silent Hill is because like the fucking fog.
yeah,
like
it
they,
blocked the shitty ass graphics. Like,
exactly, right? And the
yeah,
process and the round limitation, like they had to do that. And
yeah,
like and that made the game the game.
yeah, and I think like the reason why the areas were small in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 and stuff like that, and they were so quick and easy, and even like Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop Distance, they had hardware limitations and they just fucking work. And then you get Kingdom Hearts 3 where it's like there's almost unlimited like hardware limitations. You can stretch it to the fucking mile.
Is this why Nintendo games are so good? Because they just keep limitations on themselves.
Yeah, maybe
Well,
that's why
I
maybe
think
that's why the
constraints
Nintendo
can yeah.
limits themselves. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Um,
Constraints make people be creative, dude. Like they force
yeah,
you to be creative, and I think that's it's kind of a cyclical discussion we're having. But yeah, I think the unlimited hardware space is a struggle because you have no limits on what you can do with your game. Like almost, not no
Hmm.
limits, but almost no limits.
yeah,
Realistically on what you can do with a game now, and I think studios struggle with that. I think because you can't spend too much time trying to figure out what you want to do. Like you need to fucking make a game at some point. So
yeah,
they just end
Yeah.
up iterating on other things that have been made already. They're not trying to make something unique. And yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting problem because I mean, you guys are right. Like, man, I frankly in my head, the way I think about games is I personally think older games are superior
Hmm.
to current modern and games in the last 15 years, I'd say.
yeah.
I think in
I
general
think
I
of it
would
like
consider them superior.
Well, that's
think
because
of it
like
like
playing.
replay value, right? Like think about how often we used to play. I don't know if it's this because we're older. I try not to take it as because we're getting older, we don't have time to play games. But like, there's nothing that's interests me so much that I want to replay it again. If it's not a multiplayer game, I have yet to.
Dude, I don't replay games at all
And
anymore.
that's the problem. And that's my
Yeah,
problems that I used to do that even with
me
single
too.
player games on
Me
the
too.
360 era, right? I used to
Yeah.
play 360 and PS3 games, but like ever since PS4 forward, something happened where I just beat the game once and I just
Well,
move
they're
on.
just they're just way too fucking long.
There's too
Like,
many games and they're
yeah,
too long. Yeah,
and
there's
they're
too
too
many
long.
games now and they're too long. Yeah.
And just playing like Kingdom Hearts 2 again and stuff like that, because I really wanted to see if it was like a nostalgia thing for me. Like, damn, do I really look at this game in rose tinted glasses? And it's like I don't. I was like critiquing the game. Like there could have been like shit here and there, like some of the voice I think could have been better and everything like that. Um, and I still hate the gummy ship worlds and everything like that. But it's like I was just like looking at the world and coming from like what I know of the game, like the game was trying to tell you the story, the plot of Chain the Memories in the intro. If you look at the intro of Kingdom Hearts 2, that's all a Chain of Memories. Like it's trying to tell you like this is what happened, but it didn't explain that because you had a fucking booming ass soundtrack as fucking gold over the shit. So I couldn't focus. The soundtrack was so fucking good. With the fuck Square, but like yeah, so it's like it's just like critiques there, but it's like there's
Hey,
a
I'm
reason
sorry for
why.
making a banker ass soundtrack.
Yeah, but it's like there's a reason why like this game is looked at the way it is, and then you compare it to Kingdom Hearts 3 or whatever, and it's like, yeah, it's just not there, bro. Like it's just not there. It's just like another thing is like I was so like from Kingdom Hearts 3 to Kingdom Hearts 2, like I was expecting Heartless at the end of the levels, and because I don't know, I just expected that shit. But what they did in Kingdom Hearts 2 is they had Heartless boss battles, but they incorporated with the Disney villains. So it was like it was still like for instance, right, when you fight I think his name Barbosa, when you fight Barbosa in Pirates of the Caribbean, there was still like a random Heartless there, like a random like fucking cloak Heartless there
Well,
helping
you
him
fought them
out.
both at the same time,
But you
right?
fought them both at the same time, and they did that on a couple of worlds, and it's like I was like,
Mhm.
oh shit, like that's fucking cool, like how I'm still fighting the Disney villains and or whatever the case may be.
And Kingdom
So
Hearts 3 didn't do. There was one world where you fought one of the Disney
yeah, and
villains.
that
And I think it was Pirates of the
unironically
Caribbean.
is Pirates of the Caribbean. Davy
Yeah,
Jones, you fight Davy
right.
Jones.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's all I had. But I was really trying to like actually break this game down and like tear it to fucking pieces. And I'm like, bro, this game this game's still fucking good. Like I can't do it. Like I'm sorry, it's still fucking good, yo. It's still a fucking good ass ride. Like I don't know what to tell y'all, but that's all I've been playing.
That's how I
All
felt
right.
about Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah. Man, Kingdom Hearts. I haven't played through the series since like 2017, I think.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it. It's a lot of games, but it's been a while. And maybe they'd give me an excuse to go back to 3 and try Remind and all the changes that happen with the combat.
I still have yet to beat 3. Like you talking about this makes me want to play 3 because I played it at launch at the beginning. I just gave up, and I know you went back and played, and everything's all good now.
I wouldn't say that. No, I wouldn't say that. The
Montrell never said
combat,
that. He said the
the
combat's better. Yeah,
the
the rest
Oh,
of
combat's
it
okay.
is
better.
still
Yeah,
what it is. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, then I'm
Um,
straight. I don't got to go back.
yeah.
But all right, well, so I've been playing. I'll get through my shit quickly. Apex League. I tell you, Riser 3. I'm still playing this.
I gotta buy that game.
Working through it slowly. Still enjoying it for sure. But the thing I actually put a lot of time into this week was Metroid Prime Remastered. Started playing it over the weekend,
Is
and
it
I've been
still as
playing it.
good as
I've been
you
playing it
remember?
consistently, dude. This game, it's just fucking. It's crazy to me that people didn't learn lessons from Metroid Prime because it is incredible how a game can be so good without a single word being spoken. Like
Mm.
seriously, it's insane to me that this game can be so fucking
I never
expressive and
played this game.
interesting. Dude, it's so expressive and interesting, and the world just feels so fucking lived in and cool, you know. And there's so much to learn and like learn about and figure out about this world. And it's just, dude, it's such a fucking great game. It's crazy. The beginning of the game actually is fun. It's funny. I mean, I haven't played it for like 15 years probably. So
Hmm.
I kind of forgot the structure of it. Is the beginning of it is actually pretty linear. There's really only one path you can go through for the first few hours of the game. But eventually you get to a point where you unlock enough upgrades where the game opens up kind of, and you can kind of pick and choose where you want to go. The thing with this game, though, that is a struggle in the modern times is that the game does not tell you where to go at any given time. So if you haven't played it for a couple days and you kind of forget what you were doing, dude, trying to get back into the game is really difficult
Okay.
because the game has an excellent map. In my opinion, I think it's a really good map. But there are no markers on it or anything for in terms of objectives. You just kind of go where you want to go, and you figure out where you need to go for the next thing you need to do. There are markers for like specific types of doors, you know, that need a certain gun type in order to open them. Like they have markers for things, basic things like that. But yeah, the game just doesn't tell you where to go, so you have to figure it out. And the further you get into the game, the bigger it is, the more you have to remember about certain areas, because you'll run through areas and there'll be things you can't access early in the game because you don't have the specific upgrade you need to access them yet. So you have to come back later when you get that upgrade, and you need to kind of remember where those things are throughout the game. And that's I just love it because it's a fucking game that just throws you into it, and it's just like, figure it out. Figure it out, bro. You know, like you don't. There's no hand holding, nothing, dude. You just go. The game. You land on the fucking planet, and the game just lets you out, and you're gone. You're going, dude. Like there's nothing. There's nothing else to it. It's so good how simplistic that concept is, but how refreshing it is in this modern era of games where like everything fucking hand holds you and fucking
Mm.
tells you what to do, how to do it, where to go. There's fucking markers everywhere. You don't even think for yourself at all in these in modern games for the most part. And it's just so nice to play a game where that's not the case. The game is the game. It's there, and you figure out where to go on your own. You know, it's like, it's great. I love it. It's awesome. Metroid Prime is fucking amazing. If you haven't played it before, play it. DJ, like, you are doing yourself a
A
disservice, dude.
disservice.
Like, it is so good. And honestly, in my opinion, I've played some of the 2D Metroids, and comparatively, like, I love this game more than those. I think this game is like Metroid at its absolute fucking best.
It's so
So
funny because the only Metroid that I ever played and beat, and honestly ever played, was Metroid Fusion.
mhm.
Oh,
And
that's probably one of the best 2D Metroids out.
Yeah.
and hearing people talk about this game, like, because I would hearing y'all and then everybody talking about Metro Five, maybe want to buy the game, and then when I was just scratching for, when you get that itch just to buy a game,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
I was looking for something specifically on the Switch, and Metroid was about to be it, and then like hearing you talking about Metroid Prime and everyone talking about I'm getting two perspective from podcasts. I'm getting the people who were like you, played it before, and they just talking about how great it is and how great it still is, and people who are playing it for the first time as well. And that's making me like want to buy the game, but I don't want to buy it digital. I want to buy it physical, man. And
You gotta hurry up.
and that's a problem. I can't find it. I can't find it.
Yeah,
So
man. You might have to just bite the bullet.
yeah.
Don't rob yourself of an experience just because you want it physical. I like. I think this game is worth to buy. I think it's worth it to own this game digitally. Like, this is a game that should always be in your collection. You know, it's like, it's that good. Because the game is like, it's funny because the game has a lot of so you have a scanning visor where you can look around and scan things, and it will give you information about them, whether it's enemies or points in the environment, and that's kind of how you figure things out in the game, where they'll give you hints sometimes through those log entries. But like, that's literally the only way the game kind of describes anything to you, because there's no characters. Like, Samus is the only character in the game, really. And then I guess Ridley a little bit is like kind of in there, but she never speaks. No one ever talks. There's not a mission briefing at the beginning of the game, where Samus gets a fucking briefing from Commander Johnson or whatever the fuck. It's like she just shows up, dude, and she's like, I gotta fucking find Ridley and stop him, and that's her whole purpose. And that changes throughout the game, but like, that's it. Like, that, it's a simple concept, but dude, it's like, it's so incredible to me that this game is so good with that, because other games try to do these kind of things and they fail at it. But Metroid Prime, I don't know why, it's just so, like, it's so tightly wound that it's like, it's perfect. Like, it's a perfect game in my
Well,
opinion.
they
It's
made the world a character.
yeah,
The world
yeah,
itself is a character
absolutely.
that's like developing as you develop. So
Yep.
I saw that someone said that before, and when I saw that, I was like, that makes a lot of sense. Like, they design their worlds as a character themselves. I
But yeah,
guess
you're
it's
learning
world
about,
building, but
yeah.
to a different extent,
Well,
like,
yeah, because you're learning about the Chozo, but they're not around anymore when you're in the time period in the game. So you're learning about their culture and the things that happen to them, and stuff like that through log entries and stuff.
Okay.
And yeah, it's like a really interesting. It's a really interesting place, as a result. So,
Mm.
okay, I don't want to keep going
Now,
here.
maybe the type of game that I need, though, to be honest.
Dude, totally. It's not a long game either. I'd put it at 15 hours, 20 hours if you want a full complete. If you don't want a full complete, it's probably shorter than that. So yeah, it's definitely worth the time. But we are running out of time here. We got like 20 minutes, so we need to be. Uh, DJ, you came on here. You wanted to talk about Redfall 30 FPS, so maybe we'll do that. We might skip our news stories this week and punt those to next week, given our time limit. Do you want to go into what you kind of wanted to talk about when it comes to Redfall and the 30 frames per second?
Yeah, because and this is just like on game dev side stuff that like people on the audience wouldn't know. So when they announced it, I wasn't surprised, right? And I knew people was going to be mad, and in my head, I'm just like, just delay it,
Hmm.
just when I delay it. But the reason why I think, and I know this is a certain, they are. I hate to say I know this for certain, and I don't work for the company, right? Where are my sources? And I hate to say that because that sounds bougie, right? But
Where are my sources?
per my sources, they are using Unreal Engine 4.26, right? And so, which makes sense because in a certain point of development in the game, you have to stop. You can't upgrade the engine. You just got to stop, right? And this is going to be the engine you're going to use from here on out. Doesn't matter what it upgrades to. And so, knowing like the development cycle, I can see, yeah, okay, this equates to like that adds up right from the time of this game is releasing and the time at it was at development, right? Yes, I could see them using Unreal Engine 4.6. They're using Unreal Engine 4.6. Unfortunately, with the game they are trying to make, yes, like it is at pure optimization, a 30 frames per second game. uh, and you will have to do more work to optimize it to make it a 60 frames per second game, right? It's kind of like the same thing in the Xbox 3 last generation, where they have to give us that patch so you can have the 60 frames per second. Same shit. It's literally the same shit here. The difference is that fucking besides releasing it with the patch, we just getting it with 30 frames per second at its optimized because all this more than likely because it's built on that engine, it is ready at 30 frames per second. It's gonna
Uh-huh.
go at 30 frames per second, right?
Yeah.
It's just that 60 frames per second. And I'm more than likely Microsoft is like, well, we can hit the release date and we know this is working. Why not just like last generation, give a patch to the 60 frames per
Yeah,
second.
it's just I think they're not reading the room correctly though,
Yeah.
because this is a thing right now. This 30 frames per second thing,
Hmm.
like releasing a game with that as your maximum performance is dude, people are reacting very poorly to it, and Redfall got a really poor reaction last week
Oh, I
when
agree with
they announced
y'all.
this.
I agree with y'all. Like, especially at this generation, right? That's basically a standard. Like, if you're
Yeah,
gonna make a game, I'm sorry, it has to release at 60 frames or more.
1080p
That's
60 frames. That's the
exactly.
standard.
That's
You
the
know, if
bare
you want to go
minimum.
higher, it's okay to lower the frame rate, you know.
Exactly.
Higher resolution, it's okay to have 30 frames with 4K or even 1440p to an extent. But yeah, if you're gonna do 1080p, like you've got to be hitting 60, man. I just it's not an excuse anymore.
Hmm.
Because it is a noticeable difference in gameplay. I'm like I don't care what people say. Like their smoothness of a game is definitely different at 30 versus 60. And the smoothness of movement, jankiness of a game, the way a game feels, it all changes. You know.
Hmm. If you give me 120, I take that. But 60, that's
Yeah,
all I
man,
ask.
that would be great. But yeah, 60 is I think the minimum you have to go
Definitely Red
for.
Cry been doing 60 since 2003.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this game's coming out in a few weeks now, so we'll see how it does, but I don't me and Montreal are not confident in
It's
its
on Game
performance.
Pass. I may download it. I don't know if I would launch
Yeah.
it. I ain't
I
download
still
it.
think it's going to do decent. I think it's going to get a 7.5. I think it's going to be really, really
Well,
decent.
I'm thinking sales. I'm talking more sales. The fact that it's going to be on
Oh
Game Pass,
yes,
Oh.
the
sales,
fact that it's
yeah.
going to be on Pass is probably going to kill any sales momentum it might have
Hmm.
had, you know.
Even sales wise, like if this was to release not on Game Pass, to be honest, I don't think a lot of people would be playing
I agree.
it.
I think a couple million, maybe.
Hmm. It'd be one
Like
of those games where people be like, "Why is this not a free to play game?"
yeah. Yeah, if they release on all platforms, I'd give them a few million, probably like 5 million. I could see it if it was on all platforms. But yeah, just on Xbox and PC, I don't see it, especially with Game Pass. So we'll certainly follow it though. But yeah, I mean, DJ, is there anything else you wanted to say about that one? Or
No, that's it. That's it.
okay, all right, let's try to get through some of these stories then real quick. This one's just real quick. Nintendo announced they're doing a live event in the U.S. This is not a game. This is not something where they're going to be announcing games or anything like that. It's like literally like a fan event where you go and you like can play games and there's activities to do related to Nintendo stuff. But I just thought this sounded cool. I wanted to put it in the show real quick just to, put it out
Yeah,
there.
they need some kind of publicity because
Yeah.
they're online. What they're doing to their YouTubers is fucking insane.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Really? What's going on with that?
So you remember a couple years ago,
Yeah.
you had you remember they're like tagging people for playing their games or doing copyright strikes and shit like that. I think the YouTuber algorithm or the YouTube copyright strike thing has gotten stricter. So I think if you get like 3 copyright strikes, then you're like out the game or something like that. So they're going back, and I guess since Tears of the Kingdom is coming out, they're going back and they're tagging everybody for playing Breath of the Wild games. Like,
wow.
Yeah, and I think the whole purpose is they're trying to look for people who are playing the game early, who may have gotten early copies of Tears of the Kingdom, but I think their algorithm or whatever kind of bot they're using or whatever is just tagging people. So they even tagged this one popular YouTuber that was in the guidelines. He mods the games, but he buys the games and he doesn't tell people how to get the mods or anything like that. And they pretty much wiped his whole channel. Like he can't make a living anymore out the video games. And even the one channel game play video that he did do, his very first gameplay thing was like a pure just like Zelda like gameplay, like no modding or anything like that. And they even copyright strike that one. And it's not just him, but it's other people that are doing this too. And it's like this is the same shit. I remember you had to join the Nintendo program and all the other shit like that. And even within their terms, you still do. And I remember even in their terms or whatever, like they kind of said explicitly, like, you can do modding, but like within like the terms, and he did it. And he's like, yo, my lawyer read it and everything like that. So it's like, I think Nintendo, as far as like online shit, they're still stuck in like 1995. And it's kind of wild. There's a huge disparity between like the offline Nintendo fans and then like the online Nintendo fans. This would be a cool event for people, but I don't think this will, like, as far as like the community as a whole, connecting with Nintendo Online. I think they really need to get their shit together. Like they're like a really scummy company as far as that, because we talked about how they shut down fan made projects and all the other shit like that have no intention.
Remember Pokemon Uranium?
Yeah, they have like no intention of like getting that had no intention to getting profit. It's just like, oh, we love these games and everything like that. And they don't embrace it. They're like, yo, shut the fuck up and just love our games. They're not your games. They're our games. And it's like,
yeah.
All right,
Justin, Pokemon Uranium was like the best Pokemon game I ever played.
I have it. I downloaded it. I remember you. I think you sent it to us, didn't you?
Dude.
I downloaded it. I have it.
So one thing, I might need you to send me a copy because I do not have any anymore.
I'm pretty sure I have it on one of my drives. All right. I think we'll stop there. I don't want to risk us getting into a story and not being able to talk about it fully. So, yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. We're trying to figure this out with Zencaster. They're fucking like, I don't know what's going on right now. Well, I kind of feel like they're having some kind of weird outage or something based on what Montrell was experiencing, but we're gonna try to get this resolved in the next week so we can be unfettered. And if this goes on the next few weeks, we're probably gonna have to go find some other solution for recording, but we will figure it out. So all right, well, DJ, thank you for joining us today, jumping on with yep, well, so you guys know the drill. If you like this episode, please like the show, review the show, and subscribe to the show on whatever feed you're listening to it on. And please share it with your friends. If you'd like to interact with us on Twitter, you can do so at iTrap for the Hokage for Montrell. That is the number 4, not the word. I'm at ThunderNut01, and the show is at The Player's Take. If you'd like to send us a question, you can do so on Twitter, or you can send us an email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com. That's going to be it for us, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode. See you next week. Bye.